The Interstate 70 kidnappings. In the early 1990s, a series of brutal murders known as the Interstate 70 killings struck fear into the hearts of Midwestern Americans. The killer targeted employees of small businesses situated near Interstate 70, including service stations across Indiana, Missouri, and Kansas. The perpetrator, described as a middle-aged white male, would enter these establishments during slow business hours, often around closing time. He would then execute employees, usually young women, with a .22 caliber firearm before fleeing the scene. One particularly chilling incident occurred at a service station in St. Charles, Missouri. The victim, a young female employee, was found shot to death in the store. Despite the security camera footage capturing a grainy image of the suspect, the police were unable to identify or apprehend him. The randomness and brutality of these murders left the communities in fear. The killer's ability to evade capture for years only added to the terror, making every small business along the interstate feel like a potential target. Despite extensive investigations and numerous leads, the Interstate 70 killer was never caught, and the case remains an open wound in the annals of American crime. The Texarkana Moonlight Murders. The Texarkana Moonlight Murders of 1946 are among the most infamous unsolved cases in American history. Over a span of 3 months, a masked assailant attacked 8 people, 5 of whom were killed, in and around Texarkana, a town straddling the Texas-Arkansas border. One particularly harrowing attack occurred at a service station. On the night of April 13, 1946, a young couple, Paul Martin and Betty Jo Booker, stopped at a service station to refuel before heading to a local dance. They never made it. Their bodies were found the next morning, several miles apart, both brutally murdered. Paul had been shot 4 times, and Betty Jo had been shot twice and was found with a saxophone strap around her neck. The brutality of the murders and the killer's ability to strike without warning created a palpable sense of fear. The assailant, dubbed the Phantom Killer, was never identified. Despite a massive manhunt and the involvement of the Texas Rangers, no substantial leads materialized. The case inspired the 1976 film The Town That Dreaded Sundown, cementing its place in popular culture. To this day, the identity of the Phantom Killer remains a mystery, leaving an eerie legacy in the small town of Texarkana. The disappearance of Leah Roberts. Leah Roberts was a free-spirited 23-year-old from North Carolina who, in March 2000, decided to embark on an impromptu road trip to the Pacific Northwest. Inspired by the writings of Jack Kerouac, Leah sought adventure and self-discovery. However, her journey took a dark turn when her vehicle was discovered abandoned near a service station in Bellingham, Washington, in a remote area known as the Mount Baker Highway. The scene was bizarre and unsettling. Leah's Jeep Cherokee was found crashed at the bottom of an embankment, but there were no signs of Leah. Personal items, including cash, her cat, and a gas station receipt dated 2 days prior to the crash, were discovered in the vehicle. Investigators found no evidence of foul play at the crash site, but Leah's whereabouts remained a complete mystery. Despite extensive searches by law enforcement and volunteers, no trace of Leah was ever found. The case has spawned numerous theories, ranging from voluntary disappearance to abduction. The mysterious circumstances and the lack of concrete evidence have left Leah's family and friends in a perpetual state of grief and uncertainty. Her disappearance remains one of the most haunting unsolved cases in the region. The infamous Zodiac Killer attack. The Zodiac Killer, one of America's most notorious serial killers, terrorized Northern California in the late 1960s and early 1970s. Known for his cryptic letters and ciphers sent to newspapers, the Zodiac claimed responsibility for several brutal murders. One of his earliest confirmed attacks took place at a remote service station near Vallejo, California. On the night of July 4, 1969, Darlene Ferrin and Michael Mageau were sitting in Ferrin's car at the service station when a vehicle approached them. The driver exited the car, shone a flashlight into their eyes, and without warning, began shooting. Ferrin was shot multiple times and succumbed to her injuries, while Mageau, despite being shot in the face, neck and chest, miraculously survived. Mageau provided a description of the attacker, which matched other witness accounts linked to the Zodiac. The killer's audacity and brutality were horrifying. He later sent letters to local newspapers, taking credit for the attack and others, and including pieces of a cipher that purportedly revealed his identity. Despite a massive manhunt and ongoing investigations over the decades, the Zodiac killer was never caught.